I'm Anil Kumar, and now let's continue with describing patterns. In this particular video, we will see how to describe a pattern which repeats. Now here I'm defining a term which is core group. To describe repeating patterns, it is important to identify core group. Now, what is core group? Core group is the part of the pattern that repeats. That is what core group is. As you can see, we have a pattern here. There are two arrows which are pointing right, one arrow down, two arrows pointing right, one arrow down. So in this pattern, can you identify what repeats? So of course, these three arrows, two pointing right, one pointing down, repeats. So that is called the core group. So back to the definition, core group is the part of the pattern that repeats. So in this case, these three arrows, two pointing right, one down, becomes the core group. Now we have also looked into attribute. Let's revisit attributes. Attributes, as you know, are features like shape, size, number, color, texture, and position that describe changes in the pattern. Now let us consider this pattern once again. We have two arrows pointing right, one down, two arrows pointing right, one down. Now in this question, you need to identify the core group, which we just now did. Two arrows pointing right, one down becomes the core group. Then you need to name the attributes that are changing. And then how are the attributes changing in the core group? So once you identify all these things, you can describe a repeating pattern. So that becomes type of steps for you to follow to describe repeating pattern. Now once you've done all this, I would like you to describe this pattern, right? So now let us describe the pattern. You can pause the video, describe the pattern, and then look into my suggestion. Now here, you know the core group is two arrows pointing right, one down, which I've highlighted in this box. We need to name the attributes that are changing. Can you tell me how many attributes are changing? Well, one is the numbers. We have two right, one down. So as far as the changing attributes are concerned, we have numbers. And the other attribute is position or direction, right? So you could say that, position or direction. Let me write direction here. So these are the two attributes which are changing. Now how are these changing? We have to incorporate that and then write the description. And if we do that in the core group, we can say for the whole pattern, because that is what is repeated, right? So this group repeats. So if you describe the core group, you describe the whole pattern. So it repeats, right? So let me draw three dots here. Now let's describe it. Since there are two attributes, we will use two words to describe. One is numbers, the other one is direction. So we'll say to right, that is to right is the direction, arrows, one down. So down is the direction, right? Two right arrow, one down arrow forms the core group in this repeating pattern. So that is also a description for a repeating pattern. So if you define a core group, you have defined the whole pattern, correct? So that is alternate way of describing a pattern, right? You could describe the pattern as we had been doing it earlier. That is to say, you could also say without using the word core group as to right arrow. Arrow word is not very important here. To write one down, you can say one down arrow but it helps to describe the shape. So 2 right arrow, 1 down arrow, then again 2 right arrow, and so on, correct? So that is how you could describe the repeating pattern. I hope you understand the word core group. In the test at times, they may ask you to highlight the core group and then describe. So it is important from that point of view. I'm Anil Kumar. You can subscribe to my videos and learn a lot. Thank you and all the best.